What do you do, everybody? It's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. I'm back at it, man. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the 11:30 podcast, Talk Pro Wrestling. Yes, man, it's time to talk some pro wrestling. I'm back at it. What's goody, man? How everybody doing out there? For everyone who's listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. If you're tuning back here to the YouTube side, man, I appreciate it so much, man. Definitely do me a big favor, follow, definitely subscribe, and leave a 5-star rating, man, for real. Definitely here, man, and definitely on YouTube. If you're new to the podcast, hit that subscribe button down below, man, for real. It's time to talk some pro wrestling. Man, I'm riding solo dolo. That's cool. This week, I'm just gonna give my thoughts on everything that went down in this past week, man. It's been a hellacious week of wrestling. I'm talking about non-stop wrestling. But today's episode, man, I'm going to be recapping WrestleMania 39, Night 1, Night 2, and just giving my thoughts and reviews on that, you guys. And also going to be talking about the huge news that came out of Monday, man, the WWE and UFC merger with Endeavor now owning WWE, man. So not only that, man, Vince McMahon is back in charge. We're definitely going to be talking about that. It's SmackDown tonight. Triple H is going to be opening up SmackDown. What type of news he's going to be saying? What is he going to say differently that he didn't say on Monday Night Raw? So we're going to be diving into everything. AEW broke some huge news this past Wednesday night. So yo, man, sit tight. It's going to be a great one. But we ain't going to waste no more time, man. We're going to get into it. As I was just saying, this past Monday, man, huge news has broke in UFC and WWE, you guys, has merged. Yes, you guys, Vincent Kennedy McMahon has made a statement. Together, we will be a $21 plus it's going to be a $21 billion plus live sports and entertainment powerhouse with a collective fan base of more than 1 billion people and exciting growth opportunity, you guys, man. Yes, man, I talked about this a little bit on this past week's episode of the 11:30 podcast show and my WTF moment, because boy, oh boy, was it a huge WTF moment. That's all anyone wanted to talk about Monday, Tuesday. Hell, my guy Warren Marlowe asked the question on the live episode of WrestleMania Sunday when I was doing the predictions to my guy Brian B, and also just to everyone. Just thinking about the UFC possibly merging or buying WWE, and at that point, man, I didn't really pay it too much of attention because you've been hearing for some months now that WWE is possibly going to be sold. And at first, he had some real negative backlash that Vince McMahon probably will be selling the company to some private Saudi Arabia, something like that. I'm not too sure, but I think that really left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. That was shut down. So you really didn't hear too much news, though. But you did hear from Nick Khan that the WWE was going to be sold within the next 3 months. How soon? You didn't know. But, you guys, this came out of this past week that WWE and UFC are merging, and Endeavor now owns it, and also allowing, man, Vince McMahon to stay aboard of the chairman, stay on the board. And the chairman of Endeavor, had multiple conversations with Vinnie Mac and decided to keep him on. Now, a lot of people are not too happy about that. And of course, Vince McMahon, as smart as he is, and the genius that he is, man, he worked out this deal best sort of for him that he don't really have to answer to board of directors. So he could keep his job.
Help but wonder, and I have to ask you, had the scandal not happened,
right,
would we be sitting here today?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because it makes sense. You take nothing's ever happened like this before. And again, I'm always looking what's best for our stockholders, what's best for the company. This is the best thing that's happened in a long, long time. All of the WrestleManias combined have been 39, including tomorrow. Does it really equal to the magnitude of what we will do together?
Did that event push you towards this day faster than you thought you'd ever be here?
No, it didn't really, in and of itself, no. But it's great that we can combine all of this news together at the same time.
Is this a good day for
good
Vince
day.
McMahon and
It's
the
a-
WWE,
it
or
is a great day.
Is
It's
it
one
a
of the
tough
greatest
day
days
as
of my
well?
life.
This company's been in your family for 70 years. Is it a tough day?
No, it's a great day. You know, things have to evolve. Family, business, it all has to evolve for all the right reasons. And this is the right business decision. Thus far, it's the right family decision.
I want to ask you about how you think about your legacy, given where you took this company, what's happened in the last year, the regrets you may have as a result of all that, and how you think your legacy will and your story will be told.
Well, let me just say that I've made mistakes, obviously, both personally and professionally through my 50-year career. I've owned up to every single one of them and then moved on. I'm not sure, the legacy stuff, I'm not going to write it. So I don't know. I want to say it's someone who had an extraordinary amount of fun, great passion for what they did, and wound up doing the biggest deal he's ever done in his life.
Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel, who also becomes CEO of the new company, made it clear during our exclusive interview that he wanted McMahon to stay. He called him a cable television pioneer and a visionary. And just one more important note, just to remind you, I am personally represented by WME. It's a unit of Endeavor, a talent agency that represents several CNBC anchors and on-air reporters, Carl, you included. I think this came down to a simple question. Is the WWE at this moment more valuable with Vince McMahon in it rather than out?
That's the huge news, you guys, that came out of this past week's this past week, huge news about WWE being sold to Endeavor and merging with UFC. And not only that, man, I'm just talking about Vince McMahon and how Vince McMahon was heavily involved in WrestleMania. And I talked about this numerous of times, how when something is just not right, because we seen Triple H take over in late July, early August. And from there, it was like, okay, things are seeming different around here. And for the last couple of weeks or months or so, things seemed to change. And it was like, that don't seem like Triple H. And we all just write blamely on Vince McMahon. To come to find out, he's now back in charge in the gorilla position, calling all shots. And he was doing that this past week on Monday Night Raw, man. Yes. And a lot of people, and including me, was not too excited with it because Monday Night Raw, you guys, man, at least the Monday after WrestleMania is the huge WrestleMania, man. That's the huge WrestleMania. It's where you see people return. You might see some surprise appearances. It's just going to be an explosive show. But this past week's Monday Night Raw, indeed, not to me, it wasn't. I mean, we started off with Triple H coming out there, kind of like sort of reassuring the fans that, yo, man, we not going nowhere. It's going to be the same WWE, but we all know Vince McMahon is back in creative control. But the fans loved that Triple H was in control because we've seen what he did with NXT, man. But now Vinnie Mac is back, and to open up the Monday Night Raw after Mania, we seen Hunter come out there, and we seen um something very interesting where Brock Lesnar came out to sort of, team with Cody Rhodes as they announced that that was going to be the main event. Brock Lesnar's first ever big match on TV in a long, long time, at least, TV. And it was going to be great, right? I was looking forward to it. But yeah, this happened, you guys, at the end of Monday Night Raw, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I was kind of expecting maybe the matchup to, start, and maybe this attack could have, occurred after the match. And because I think it would have been really, really special and really cool, but we all know Brock Lesnar, man. He's not wrestling on TV. Monday Night Raw, the last time we seen him wrestle, sort of wrestle on TV was that Friday Night SmackDown when he beat Kofi Kingston for the title. and that was like some seconds. So yeah, I don't want to relive that. But yeah, you guys, man, Brock Lesnar right after the introductions picked up Cody Rhodes, man, and hit him with the F5, man, and just beat him up. Brutally beat him up, and this was at the start of the night, and I was like, okay, I see what they're doing here. They, trying to, have Brock Lesnar work with Cody. Everyone loved Cody, and everyone was, Brock, was hot right there doing cowboy Brock Lesnar shit. And okay, Cody's getting the rub from Brock. He's going to team with Brock, So boom, and this happened, guys. So and a lot of stuff on Monday Night Raw was just like head scratchers, man. I'm just like, okay, the Street Profits, they won their tag team showcase match at WrestleMania, and I didn't like how they lost to the tag team champions right off bat. I thought that was like, no, man, just build them up, And I was rooting for Alpha Academy because the Street Profits, man, it seems though they have done everything to do as a tag team. They've been Raw tag team champs, they've been SmackDown tag team champs, they've been NXT champions, so NXT tag team champs. So what's next for the Street Profits, man? So I mean, like Monday Night Raw was just all over the place, man. Definitely all over the place. I say NXT was definitely better. We seen Braun Breaker turning on Carmelo Hayes, and Carmelo now is the baby face. So, man, it been an interesting week, man. Definitely been an interesting week. Okay, you guys, man, I got a lot to get into. I said I was gonna review some WrestleMania, do some WrestleMania review from night one and night two. Just going to run down some of the big matches that went down. Also, still to come, I got to give my thoughts on AEW's huge news, man. Real. Okay. Yes, you guys. WrestleMania 39. We kicked that off with the United States Championship. Yes, John Cena, man. John Cena, man. He's getting old, man. He's getting old. He really didn't have a tan. He was almost as white as Sheamus, man. I was like, okay, but yeah, man, Cena is really cool to see him. Great entrance for Cena, being the top guy to do all the Make a Wish, you know, uh, do all the Make a Wishes for all the little kids and stuff. So this was great. But yeah, John versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. I thought it was an okay match, man. It just seemed like it just abruptly just ended. It was a little back and forth. The whole biting for Austin Theory was strange to me, but it was kind of cool. But it was strange because he never done that before. And I understand it's WrestleMania. You gotta do some shit people wouldn't expect, and people did not expect him biting John Cena. But yeah, man, really sort of one-sided matchup where Austin Theory was having the upper hand majority of the matchup, and the referee gets knocked down. Austin Theory goes for the low blow, and Austin Theory hits 8 count down. 1, 2, 3, and that's it. And we see Austin Theory standing over John Cena at WrestleMania, retaining the United States Championship. I was a big fan of maybe that part of the low blow taking place after the matchup. Something like I said, multiple times, how Shawn and Jericho did at WrestleMania, and was Jericho's childhood hero. Childhood hero. He loved him, but Jericho came up short. He just came up short. And he hugged him, but he also kicked him right in the nuts, kicked him right in the dick, man. And that was that. And the story continued on. But I think the reason why maybe he didn't do that after the match because John probably wasn't going to be around. Who knows if he's going to be in Puerto Rico now? But that match was definitely that, you guys. The next match we had at WrestleMania, man, this was one of the show stealers on night one. Seth freaking Rollins taking on Logan Paul, man. It was amazing, man. Really, really amazing back and forth. I love how Logan Paul is just, man. He got it for this business, man. He can really, really, really go. He's proven, everybody, sort of wrong, man. There've been numerous guys, man. Stephen Amell, he was front row on Monday Night Raw, and I forgot he played in the Stars Wrestler series. It's not called the Wrestler. but I can't wait for season two. Was supposed to be coming back, and excuse me, he competed at SummerSlam against Cody Rhodes, aka Stardust, and he did wonderful. You had a couple of guys who just came in and did wonderful, but I think Logan Paul, man, is exceeding everybody's expectations and just coming out there having these big money matches. And the last match he had with Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia, he killed it. Killed it at last year's WrestleMania and SummerSlam, and here taking on Seth freaking Rollins. Oh man, awesome, awesome, awesome! I did not know who the guy was in the energy drink, the Prime energy drink, but I was like, that's somebody. That's somebody that's going to get involved. I don't know if it's going to be somebody that's going to turn on Logan Paul, but hey, it was one of the Logan Paul YouTube social media buddies. This spot with Logan Paul spitting out the Prime and Seth Rollins pulling on the Prime drink onto the table. That splash, amazing, man. Really, really amazing. I'm just, man, I want to know what's next with Seth Rollins because even on Monday Night Raw, I know a lot of people was questioning, what was up with that, man. Seth Rollins was really excited to come out to the crowd, and I'm hearing that Pretty Deadly was supposed to be coming out there to debut on Monday Night Raw, but some things changed, and it was a video floating around on social media where Seth Rollins is, leaning over towards the rope, towards commentary, where it seemed like a producer or someone was telling him what's what. And when they came back for commercial break, Seth Rollins just walked up the ramp. And I was just like, uh, okay. Like, what was that all about? But yeah, man, just, and I mentioned earlier how Vince McMahon is back and hearing that he just, rewrote a lot of stuff and a lot of superstars were not happy, man. We're not happy on this past week's episode of Raw because just things just wasn't going right, man. One going right. But yeah, man. Can't wait to see what's next for Seth freaking Rollins, you guys. Our next matchup that went down at WrestleMania Saturday. Now, this right here, you guys, this shot says it all, man. I mean, says it all. You ever disrespect your parents, man? This is gonna be the shot right here, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna have this frame on their wall in a nice house, Dominic house, Ray house. This is gonna be the picture right here where they're gonna all go back to and just laugh at. But Dominic probably gonna hate it. But nonetheless, man, great matchup between Rey Mysterio and Dominic. I love both of their entrants. Ray coming out there with Snoop Dogg and the Low Rider, and then you hear Eddie Guerrero's music. It was just, man, it was just nostalgia. It was awesome, man. It really was. And then Rey Mysterio, a lot of people, some people I was hearing, because I've been on a bunch of podcasts this past week, talking about WrestleMania commission talks. I've been on Straight Through the Ropes with my guy Brand B and the crew, and a few people did not understand that why did Dominic go back to jail just for him to get released. Now, I didn't really pay too much of the I didn't pay too much attention in detail of that, but I was like, his whole claim was that he spent, oh, you know, uh, he went to prison and he was in these cells and he got tough and all this. When in actuality, he just got locked up for a couple of hours though. So that was so entertaining and fun to see. Uh, we know WWE is going to Puerto Rico next month, May 6th for Backlash, for May 5th and 6th for SmackDown and Backlash. But for Backlash, Bad Bunny is going to be the host. And I thought this was just a way for Bad Bunny on commentary. I didn't know he was going to interfere. This whole story that was building for quite amount of time, and Bad Bunny sort of dictated the outcome. He had nothing to do with it. But I understand, these, the Latino, the Puerto Rican, I get it. But I was rooting for Dominic, man. Definitely rooting for Dominic, man. Like I was saying earlier, Street Profits, man. I want to see what's next for them. They won their tag team showcase matchup at WrestleMania, man. Speaking of tag team matches, the main event of night one pretty upset at a couple of people about that this was the main event of night one. I'm not understanding, man. This story was like awesome. And I guess people got upset because titles, a tag team match was the main event match at WrestleMania, and I was on straight through the ropes that I just mentioned, and one of the guys mentioned that this was the first tag team match uh, at WrestleMania since WrestleMania one. Well, Paul Orndorff teamed with Roddy Piper to take on Mr. T and Hulk Hogan. You know, so even though that wasn't for the tag team titles, though, but man, see how far the business that came. But man, this story was just beautiful, man. And I mean, you couldn't tell me, man. Besides the Rey Mysterio and Dominic story, this story was above all, above Rhea Ripley, above Charlotte's story. I mean, kudos to the ladies; they had wonderful matches, man. But you know, especially on night one, but. This was the match, man, that really stood out, that really told the story. You know, a second main event for KO on night one. First main event for Sami Zayn. First Muslim to main event a WrestleMania. So this was awesome, man. Like I find it so ironic that Cody, you know, hashtag was more so finished the story, but Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn wind up finishing their story, and Cody Rhodes' story just was just still still left to be told and stuff like that. So I find that to be so interesting, so interesting. Okay, another tag team match. We seen the wonderful ladies, man, of Becky. Trish Stratus and Lita defending, excuse me, not defending, but winning their 6-woman tag team matchup at WrestleMania, man. I was all damage control, man, all damage control on that one, but we saw what happened. Okay, next matchup, women's matchup for the women's championship, the semi-main event, Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. And like I said, this was a back and forth a decision whether this should main event night one or whether it should, should go on a little earlier. But it went on right before the main event. This was an awesome matchup between both competitors, both wrestlers, both entertainers. I love how, well, I don't love how, but I thought it was really scary how Rhea Ripley, I mean, not Rhea Ripley, but Charlotte almost landed on her neck, her head, but she had brushed her nose, but it looked like it was broken or something, man. But nasty spot in that match though. But kudos to Rhea Ripley. I love the detail after the match, how Charlotte was just looking so proud, so happy, and it kind of told the story of Charlotte being very, excited and happy for Rhea Ripley. And I said this before, and how Sasha Banks had the same look on her face back at I believe it was WrestleMania 36 or 30, I believe 37, where Bianca took on Sasha and won the championship for her. She was just really excited, man. Really excited. Like I said, man, this matchup was really great, man. You couldn't tell me nothing else about it. Night one was definitely freaking awesome, man. For real, my opinion was awesome. Then we get to night two. Night two, I was like, okay, I'm excited, but okay, let's see. Let's see, man. For real, I want to know you guys' thoughts, man. Leave a comment down below. How did you guys feel about night one versus to night two? And did you feel like the spectacle of the show or night one took away from night two? Because I'm hearing that they want to be returning back to just one day, Sunday in April next year in Philly for WrestleMania, which is it's going to be very exciting. But you guys, man, we kicked off night two with this huge matchup, and before I say that though, we seen a couple of, well, the Miz was the host, and we seen him take on Pat McAfee and do these other sticks though, but that was that. But man, Omos, Brock Lesnar kicking off night one. I was rooting for Omos, but this match was abruptly just dropped on everybody's lap. So Brock Lesnar, I guess, wanted a strong, big challenge of him beating someone real strong. It was two big, meaty men slapping meat, man, for real. I thought it was cool in the beginning how Lesnar was just selling, just really going in for Omos, man, and he couldn't get him up, and man, he tried to get him up for the F5, couldn't, and just Omos just tossed his ass to the side of the other side of the ring. So yeah, man, cool. The fans were behind it, and so it was like Brock Lesnar versus Omos, and we all thought we was going to get Brock Lesnar versus maybe Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania, or they were going to sort of finish the saga of Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley because how it ended at Elimination Chamber. But man, like I said, I was rooting for Omos just to see what was next, man. I mean, we seen Brock Lesnar win, we seen him do his thing, so want to see what was next with that. But yeah, man, that's how we opened up night one. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, they won. They showcased a women's tag team match at WrestleMania. Then we see one of the damnedest triple threat intercontinental championship matches at WrestleMania. Man, oh man, oh man. And I think because these guys are, these guys are real like hardcore British wrestlers, man. Not necessarily hardcore, but you get Gunther, and you know how Sheamus go and Drew go, man. Let alone Drew and Sheamus. You know how they go. They gonna go tremendously hard, man. And boy, oh boy, did they do the damn thing, man. I didn't expect anything short of this matchup between Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther at WrestleMania, man. For real. I was kind of rooting for Sheamus because Sheamus has not won the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, he haven't won the Intercontinental Championship. So I was hoping maybe he checked that off his list. But Drew McIntyre and Sheamus went to war with Gunther, and Gunther walked out still the Intercontinental Champion. For real. Talking about still champion Bianca Belair, man. A lot of people was like, this was a wrong decision. I was definitely rooting for Asuka to pick up the victory because the story was a little lackluster in my opinion, and I wanted to see what was next for Bianca. She won the champion last year at WrestleMania, and she been champion the whole entire year. Whole entire year. I'm jumping a little bit too ahead with that one, but yeah, she's been the champion for an entire year. So I was like, okay, what is next for Bianca Belair? But she had an awesome matchup with Asuka. She ducked with Asuka, spit out the mist, man, and Asuka went for a ride on the KOD, and that was about it. That was about it. That's all she wrote in. Oscar Bianca Belair retained the women's championship. Shout out to the little girl who came out and danced with Bianca at WrestleMania. It was news that went around that her mom had passed away the morning of the Saturday morning of WrestleMania Saturday. So for her to pull all of it together, man, and go out there that the next day, WrestleMania Sunday, and do her thing, man, it was really awesome, man. I'm telling you, representation matters, and I know for a lot of black women, a lot of black girls, man, seeing that really gave them inspiration. That yo, man, I can really be on that stage. I can really be champion. So, hey, that's dope. Like I said, representation definitely matters, man, for real. But we roll on, you guys, to the next match on night two. We had a Hell in a Cell matchup, a Hell in a Cell match between Edge and the Demon Finn Balor. A lot of people was expecting Brood Edge, Edge Brood, whatever. I really don't know. I really didn't hear none of that. You know, anytime Edge comes out, whether it be the Rumble, whether it be SummerSlam, he also sort of came out with that Brood entrance in the beginning, and then he switched over to his, regular theme song, and that's what he does his thing. But we get this matchup, Demon Finn Balor versus Edge, and I was excited to see this match. I wanted to see where it goes. Dominic had lost this match night one, but also Rhea Ripley had won her match. So we won in one, and we won in one. We thought we were just going to have an old clean slate, but yeah, Rhea Ripley won her match. Dominic lost this match. So Finn Balor, man, he's having this huge Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania. Will he pick up the victory? And as the match progressed and it went on, it was a little weird. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. What's up with the red tables? I mean, the red chairs, the blue chairs, the red kendo sticks, the purple kendo sticks. What is going on here? Like, it was just like, okay, we got the original Hell in a Cell back. Let's put all these different freaking colors under the ring with everything else. Then I'm not one of those guys that just come on and just shoot down everything that just makes me upset about WWE. No, no, not at all, man. The match itself, was pretty cool. It was just like that was it was just weird though, really weird. But man, the big thing that came out of that match, you guys, man, that a spot with Edge through the ladder, man, through the ladder hard against Finn Balor's head and cut him up. I'm talking about really, really cut him up. You can see a whole lot of blood that was on the mat, that was on the ring, and it was just like dog. And they had to stop the match up for a minute. A lot of people thought it was just paint, but it was actually blood. If you see the photo, man, he has a real big dash on the top of his head. He had to get stitches. We didn't see him on Monday Night Raw, so get well to Finn Balor, man. But the Demon character just keep losing, and I'm just like, yo, man, I feel like the Demon is just dead, man. Like, what is next for the Demon? What can he do to really bounce back from this, man? Like, I don't know. I really don't even know, man. Not one bit. Not one bit at all. I don't even know. Okay, you guys, man. The main event of night two. Yes, you guys, the big matchup, Universal Championship. We got Cody Rhodes taking on Roman Reigns. And man, this was the matchup everyone was excited for. I just want to mention, man, Triple H said this also on the Raw and also at the press conference. Shout out to the crew, man, that put together that stage, man. That stage was marvelous, man. The way and WrestleMania, please stay on the East Coast or somewhere in between because we only got to see the stage light up for not that much time, for maybe what, an hour and a half, 2 hours or so. Because once the main event came around or the match before, that's when it sort of got dark. So that's they was on the West Coast. But nonetheless, man, this huge matchup at WrestleMania. Everyone was rooting for Cody Rhodes. A little bit in me was just thinking maybe, just maybe, Cody Rhodes will take this and win it. Just maybe. But man, a lot of stuff I just wasn't buying it, man. He came back, he won the Royal Rumble. It was just like let him go through something else. Let him be in another sustainable feud. And I feel like if it wasn't for that injury, he would have did that. And of course, he came back at WrestleMania. He only worked with Seth Rollins. He had beat Seth Rollins all three times, all three at WrestleMania, at Backlash, and at the Hell in a Cell. So it was like, damn, Seth Rollins couldn't get one match. So I feel like he should get in another match, man. Or before he get, at least before he get the title, I want to see Seth Rollins. Maybe I want to see one more match, maybe, and Seth Rollins get the upper hand. Because it's like, bro, you're not about to beat me three times, win the Rumble, get your opportunity, and think you about to get another opportunity before I do. And I won my matchup at WrestleMania against a social media star. You feel me? Like, come the fuck on, man. Like, but yo, man, Cody Rhodes is definitely going to win it. And it wasn't at WrestleMania. I don't think it's going to be Backlash because of what took place on Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns just walked out and was like, "Yeah, man, that's Cody's problem. I mean, that's Brock's problem now. Cody is Brock's problem." So he just walked off. So we don't know what's up with Roman Reigns. We have to wait to SmackDown tonight to see. More on that in just a bit. But yeah, man, this picture right here is worth everything, man. If you remember back in 2012 when John Cena lost against The Rock, them promos, man, was legendary, were iconic, and John Cena owned The Rock, man. He really did. He owned The Rock. And Cody right now is John Cena, and Roman Reigns is The Rock. I mean, The Rock was in the ring, but Roman has gone up the ramp to get that iconic shot with both his titles and the pyro's going off, in the background and stuff. But this shot was definitely man on man. I came up short. I didn't make it. I main evented WrestleMania. I mean, hell, at least he did something. His dad didn't do. His dad, didn't main event WrestleMania. Cody got the chance to main event WrestleMania. He got the chance to wrestle for the titles, in which he told the story earlier in his comeback after the Rumble. That is, no, in his comeback last year, that his dad was supposed to be fighting for the titles, but the titles weren't actually on the line or something like that, to that nature. But yo, man, Cody Rhodes, man, is definitely gonna bounce back. I love what they're doing with him right now. Let's just see how it goes, man. Monday Night Raw was definitely not great at all, at all. But we're definitely going to see uh how it all plays out, man. Definitely gonna see how everything plays out. Definitely gonna see. Okay, you guys, man. As I was just saying about Roman Reigns and the Usos, man, or a little bit about the Usos. Talking about the Usos and how the Usos lost their tag team titles at WrestleMania. We seen on Monday Night Raw. He did not want nothing to do with the Usos, man. Nothing to do with the Usos, and I think this is going to be very, very interesting. And I think Jay is everything is boiling up. Now I'm back in the bloodline. Now you got me back. Now you ain't got nothing to say to me, dog. Like all these mind games are playing. It's going to be very, very interesting, man. I cannot wait. I definitely cannot wait to see where everything goes, man. For real. And tonight, you guys, I mentioned that Triple H is going to be on SmackDown to open up the show. Of course, the Usos going to be on there, more on their story after losing the tag team titles in this historic tag team title run. What is Triple H going to say? What is he going to do? I hope he don't kind of just come out there and just sort of say the same thing he he said on Monday Night Raw. I mean, like, bro, like we got the WWE's. I know it's maybe a different audience from USA and Fox, but I mean, come on, we got you, Holmes. We got you, Hunter. We got you. If you can go back being creative, in creative control, that would be great. I mean, that would be great, man. But yo, you guys, man, a lot of stuff that went down this past week, man. Leave your comments down below. Shane McMahon coming back, turning his quad. That was sad. I mean, man, it was really, really unfortunate and sad. And I was really excited. Really, I'm talking about really excited to see Shane McMahon come out there and make his return at WrestleMania. And it seemed like it was a last minute decision. Don't seem like he was definitely in ring shape or anything. But yeah, man, hopefully Shane McMahon recovers and makes his return back to WWE. I don't know, man. But man, it's just been a wild week. Last Friday on SmackDown, or excuse me, last Friday, the Ring of Honor jumped. Dante Martin, I believe, broke his ankle. Off that spot off the ladder. Man, I'm just talking about like, people were just. I mean, last week was just the week to go all out. If you're gonna go all out, last week was the week to go all out. It was Mania week. Everybody was in LA. You had WrestleCon. WrestleCon. You had Ring of Honor that was going on. Everything, man, everything that was just going on. It was definitely amazing. The Hall of Fame was definitely dope. NXT was cool. We seen Carmelo Hayes walk away with the NXT championship. Indy Hartwell shocked everybody. Definitely shocked me. I didn't see her coming out of there with the title. So that was amazing, man. I feel like NXT was better than Monday Night Raw, in my opinion, man. For real. Definitely, definitely. All right, you guys, man, before we get on out of here, I'm about to wrap it on up. Yo, AEW went down this past week, man, and it was dope. It was definitely dope from Long Island, New York, man. MJF, man. He the man. He the man. Okay. Big news, you guys. Like I said, it came out of AEW this past week. Tony Khan made a huge announcement. Not only Tony Khan made a huge announcement, alongside of Tony Khan, it was former WWE commentary Nigel McGuinness. Now, although WWE UK is no longer, but I didn't know that Nigel was it with the company no more. But he's going to be with AEW, and I think he is. But yo, AEW all in. Instead of going all out, they're going all in. London at the Wembley Stadium, celebrating 100 years of Wembley Stadium live Sunday, August 27th. Boy, oh boy, is this going to be a massive pay per view event. not only for AEW, but just in wrestling in general. I believe the last time wrestling was at the Wembley Stadium was SummerSlam of 1987, I believe. 1987 or 1988. I'm not quite sure. I could totally be wrong though on those numbers though. But the main event was Bret Hart taking on the British Bulldog. That was the main event. But this is freaking huge, man. I'm telling you, this is massive news coming out of AEW. I was on a live podcast Wednesday. I was watching this on a delay. One of the guys was breaking the news, and I hurry up and got off that jump. But yeah, man, this is really huge news, man. Really, really huge news. Another thing, man, just to talk about before I wrap it on up here, man, that was very interesting and caught my eye. I dig it. I don't like them, but they are growing on me. They are growing on me. Just like Pretty Deadly, I don't really, I don't really fuck with them like that though. But I don't know. Maybe, as I keep seeing them, they're growing on me. But speaking of guys that who are growing on me, man, yo, yes, these two guys right here. I know you guys might be like, really? Yes, really, man. The Guns, man. I don't know specifically their names individually just yet. I just know they Billy Gunn sons though. But man, these guys had a big matchup this past week on AEW Dynamite, defending the AEW Tag Team Championships against FTR. It was career versus titles, and the Guns said to FTR the week prior, man, we're gonna put up these titles, but you're gonna put up your careers. So we get this huge main event matchup, and before the match can even start, the Guns come out to 50 Cent many men. 50 Cent many men, bro. Like, I was lost on that one. I was completely lost. But I wasn't surprised because we see the Elite with Omega and the Bucks came out to, can't remember that, who sang that song, but I know that's a popular song. John Moxley's song and Jungle Boys and different other songs, and I was like, okay, I like that AEW sort of use sort of mainstream music on their television shows for their superstars, and I sort of wish WWE did it, but I understand why they don't do it because they have a guy who creates their music, or they once did, but I'm pretty sure they still do. Even they damn song, they ain't gotta use mainstream music. They songs crank in itself. You feel me? People here's the work. People go for a job and put on the WWE playlist and just listen to all the wrestlers' theme songs. You feel me? And that's different from listening to a mainstream, so that was really interesting, man, for real. But nonetheless, the Guns, I guess, just got too big for their bridges. They did everything in their book, man. They tried to knock down the referee. The referee was like, "Nah, dog, man, come on," because if they get disqualified, or FTR get disqualified, they lose. So that's that. They low blowed them. Referee was about to ring the bell, and I think Dax or one of them stopped the referee from ringing the bell. But overall, man, FTR came out with the W. 1, 2, 3. They are the new and two-time AEW tag team champions, man. For real, that was really awesome, man. For real, WrestleMania was WrestleMania, man. I'm excited to see where they go back for one night. No LA Knight, man, and Bobby Lashley came out there just to come out there. I know, man, that had to freaking suck for him. That had to suck for him, man. I expected more from the Miz from being the host. A little bit more surprises, or I don't know. I really don't know at all, man. But I'm going to see what they're going to do tonight on SmackDown with the whole Usos and Roman Reigns trying to dodge Jay and Jimmy since they lost their titles at WrestleMania. He don't really want them around because he feels as though y'all want to make decisions. All right, y'all make decisions on your own. Y'all ain't going to make decisions for me. I'm the tribal chief. I run this. You feel me? And Roman trying to keep his title by any means necessary. And you see him rolling with Solo more than you see him rolling with Jimmy or Jay. So that's telling a little story there too as well. I just can't wait, man. We're gonna see what goes down tonight. We got a live rampage following SmackDown. Just everything, man. Everything, all wrestling going down this past week, man. So I'm excited. But yo, this has been a great show, you guys, man. I'm about to head on out of here and wrap it on up, you guys. But before I do, don't forget to follow the 1130 podcast on all social media platforms. Follow the 1130 podcast on Twitter at the 1130 podcast. Like the 1130 podcast on Facebook. If you haven't done so this entire episode, definitely subscribe, man. Hit that subscribe button down below. Follow me on TikTok. Oh man, this has been a great one, you guys, for real. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to Talk Pro Wrestling, make sure you leave a five-star rating. Leave a 5-star rating. Subscribe and tell a friend about the podcast, man. For real. It's been a great one. Until next time, you guys. I'll see you guys next week. A great, great show. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy some wrestling, man. Yo, until next time, it's your man Dre, aka Dre on Wheels. And I'm out, man. Peace.